Initiate Phase 3. What's up, everybody? I'd like to advise you, before you actually start watching the rest of this episode, is to check out our first shit that happened that was all Marvel. There'll be a link right here over our golden microphone, so you can actually catch up on where Marvel is before we get into this marvelous episode that this is about to be. Kevin, there's a lot. There's a whole lot that got announced. There's a whole lot of Marvel news that just came out a few days ago. So,
because it was all announced as one big event.
Oh, yeah. So basically, it started out like this. DC was nice and cozy, thinking, we got the jump here. Sure, Marvel announced that they had movies coming out till 2020, but let's just throw a little bit in there. We're going to tell the people what characters are going to be thrown out there and when these movies are coming. And then Marvel was like, that's so cute. And they just decided to let the deluge open. Phase 3, Kevin.
Huge news.
Phase 3. We're still in Phase 2 right now.
We're still in Phase 2. Phase 3 starts with Avengers 2 Age of Ultron, effectively.
No.
No? Before that?
Phase 3 does not... Oh, wait. You say Phase 2? No, Phase 3...
Oh, Phase 2 ends with
Phase
Avengers
2 ends with Ant-Man, actually.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes. And then Phase 3 begins with Captain America 3, which comes out May 6th, 2016. So that's less than 2 years away now. That's crazy. That is known as Captain America Civil War, which will be pitting Iron Man versus, I was going to say Tony Stark, that doesn't make sense. Iron Man versus everyone's favorite Star-Spangled Soldier, Captain America.
We'll be good about spoilers about these things. But the Civil War storyline is something that many people have expected Marvel to go into for its movies, mostly because it's one of the most iconic recent, modern storylines to come out of it.
Oh, yeah.
Specifically about the Superhero Registration Act and superheroes coming out either for or against it, and it breaking out into civil war.
Right.
So it's also a very good opportunity for heroes to cycle in or out of the movie universe.
It's actually a perfect, I'd say it's a perfect jumping off point, but it's actually, comes on the heels of Avengers 2, which will already have some disarray put, the team is going to be mixed up.
Yeah.
They're not going to be, all friendly and going out to eat shawarma afterwards like they did in the end of the first one. Bad stuff's going to happen.
Because Joss Whedon wanted the second entry in the whole Avengers trilogy to be that dark middle chapter that Star Wars or Lord of the Rings had as kind of the centerpiece that the heroes have to overcome.
For the record, you cannot reference things that you have not seen, so
ignore the If I know it's true, I can reference it.
Ignore the Lord of the Rings thing. So, following on the heels of Captain America will be Doctor Strange, which will be November 4th, 2016. And as it turns out, there's been a lot of hubbub about who Doctor Strange is going to be. Joaquin Phoenix was in the running, and then there's Ewan McGregor was in the running.
Joaquin Phoenix isn't in the running anymore because he didn't want to sign on to a contract with as many movies as the contract has.
Yes.
It's going to be a large-scale thing that whoever signs up for it has to deal with.
So, the name that has been tied to Doctor Strange now is Benedict Cumberbatch. But it has not been confirmed by Marvel, which you think they would have confirmed this at their huge event this week, but they haven't. Word is that they are pursuing Benedict Cumberbatch, who everybody is pursuing Benedict Cumberbatch, which is kind of a ridiculous thing to say, and they're hoping to start up a contract with him. And if that is true, I mean, Doctor Strange is huge. He's very important to the Avengers and the whole Marvel universe, and he's very powerful. So he seems, if it's Benedict Cumberbatch, he's set for life. I mean, he's already set for life, but he's even more set for life now.
Although this will make it even harder for them to shoot any more seasons of Sherlock. But, oh well.
Whatever. They can do it when he's sleeping or something. Just puppet master him. Following Doctor Strange will be Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which was actually moved up from its original July 2017 release to May 5th, 2017. So 2 months earlier, you get to see Chris Pratt and the whole team back together again. So everyone's excited for that. James Gunn started working on it August 1st of this year. So the day Guardians came out, he started working on the sequel already.
Right into the next one.
Yeah. It'll talk about his dad and, there might be new members to the team get added. Anything's possible. It's James Gunn. It's Marvel. After that, Thor Ragnarok, which sounds exciting.
Even the name, anyone who knows anything about Norse mythology Ragnarok is basically the end of the world battle between Thor and Loki, where basically everyone dies in the Norse mythology point of view. So we don't know. I don't know if this is from the comics itself.
It is.
It is?
It happens. It's happened a couple of times in the comics. And basically in the comics, it's a sort of like a reset. So Ragnarok is a way that they kill off all the Asgardian gods, like all the Asgardians. It's kind of like a reset for the Thor's part of the universe. But this one will have Loki most likely behind it because he's still alive. Spoilers. Sorry, we already warned you. You're screwed. That comes out July 28th, 2017. So we already have 2 movies within the span of 2 months in 2017. And then after that, November 3rd, 2017, Black Panther. That's right. You're getting a black superhero that's not Don Cheadle.
But this should be the first movie with a black lead.
Yes.
I know for Marvel.
Yes. We're not counting
general.
we're not counting Steel, which was Shaquille O'Neal as a superhero.
Blade. I don't know if people want to count that.
Okay, Blade counts.
Blade
He's
counts.
a Marvel hero, so yeah, anti-hero or whatever.
But anyway, people have been looking forward to Black Panther for a while.
Yes, and the star is Chadwick Boseman.
Oh no,
Where are you coming up with Chris?
I don't know.
Chadwick Boseman. He's actually going to be showing up in Avengers 2. Because they filmed a bunch in South Africa, which is apparently in the fake version of South Africa that Marvel has, and that's where Black Panther's supposed to be from. So It all works out. I mean, if he didn't show up in the movie, it'd be kind of ridiculous at this point. So that's coming out November 3rd, which there are already 3 movies. Suck on that, DC. 3 movies in a year. You got nothing. And then in 2018, July 6th, so right after Independence Day, comes Captain Marvel, the first solo superheroine movie from Marvel.
Which is surprising because people have been clamoring for a Black Widow film.
Yeah.
But it looks like they're more interested in bringing in another star from the comics and using that as the opportunity.
Yes. So Captain Marvel she's a woman that was in the Air Force. She was a test pilot, and she comes in contact with alien DNA somehow. The story changes throughout the comics, but the point is she's got superpowers. She can fly. She can shoot energy beams from her arms, and she's practically invulnerable. But there's also rumor that she might be showing up at the end of Avengers 2 as well, because they're trying to build up as many new heroes as possible, including the Inhumans, which is another group.
Which I know nothing about.
So that comes out November 2nd of 2018, so we're back down to just 2 movies in that year. But Inhumans... Just two. Inhumans is another cast of cosmic characters, kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy. One storyline is that they were early humans that were taken away from Earth by the Kree, and they were experimented on and given powers and stuff. So it's a group. It's like not exactly like, but it's kind of like Guardians, where they're all different. They have different powers and everything. They don't really know what storyline they're going for with that yet. But Vin Diesel, last we heard, was attached to this, so he might actually be playing 2 different roles in 2 different Marvel movies. But this is all leading up to the main event,
the climax they've been wanting for years.
That was set up probably in Iron Man 2, I think. Well, maybe even the beginning of Iron Man 1 or the end of Iron Man 1. The Avengers Infinity War, which will be coming to you in 2 parts. See, it's not a book, so that's okay for it to be split into 2 parts.
Because the Infinity War story in the comics is actually a trilogy. It's a huge, sprawling epic that basically uses everyone that is in Marvel's roster
at their disposal.
Right. And so the entire point of using all of these movies before it is to build up that roster, so they can have every single one enter in and play a part in the Infinity War.
Right. So stressing the if they actually pull this off, they could have access to all the characters that we just talked about. So we're talking about everyone from the Avengers, all the Guardians, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, the Inhumans, and then they could even Ant-Man, Doctor Strange. They could even throw in some new ones towards the end of that movie. You also have Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. It's gonna. I don't even know if 2 movies is enough for all of these people.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I could see them allowing superheroes into different teams that could be working on different storylines within the war.
Well, so the deal is, because of what Captain America Civil War sets up, there's going to be a splintering of the Avengers, essentially. So you're gonna have two Avengers teams most likely heading into Infinity War. So you have Tony leading one and Cap leading the other. So theoretically, they'll be pulling new heroes out of these other movies like Black Panther and Captain Marvel and Doctor Strange. I don't know how the Inhumans are going to fit in because they're still kind of like a cosmic thing. So
they'll be introduced late,
right? They might not be because they actually come out. Sorry, I actually said this wrong. The Inhumans movie comes out in between Avengers Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2 because Infinity War is May 4th, 2018. Inhumans is November 2nd, 2018, and then Part 2 of the Infinity War is the next year, May 3rd, 2019. So Inhumans might actually be some sort of piece, like a piece of this, because there's another part of the Inhumans that one of them might actually be Thanos' son or nephew or somehow related to Thanos. So if they do that, then it would work that way. But I mean, right now that's still so far out. They haven't set up what all this is.
If you want to hear us talk about the actual Infinity War storyline, we'll have a specific video just for that, so that if you actually care about spoilers, you can avoid that one, and you can keep, watching the rest of our videos.
For sure. But to round this all out, one thing you might be asking yourself is, where's the Hulk? Where's the Black Widow? Kind of like what you were saying earlier. Because, I mean, everyone really wants a Black Widow movie. Everyone really wants a Hulk movie, because we haven't had one since Edward Norton was, and that was like, I don't even know how long, like 2010, I think, maybe. It was a long time ago. So, one thing that Kevin Feige, I don't know how to pronounce his name, the guy who's behind... Feige, Beige, whatever. The guy who's behind Marvel Studios, he said, he was asked about why a Hulk movie isn't happening in this Phase 3, and he says, and I quote, "I'm going to say what I would have said about Black Panther last week, or Captain Marvel the week before that, or Doctor Strange the week before that, or Guardians of the Galaxy 2 years ago, or Ant-Man 10 years ago. We'll see. We'd love to do it. We'd love to find a place to put it. But right now, Hulk will be appearing with his friends in other films." So he might not just be... He might actually show up in Captain America, for all we know. He might show up in Thor. I mean, he could show up in any one of these because he's just rolling around being his green self. We don't know. I think Black Widow might be in Captain America Civil War as well, but they haven't announced that yet. The point is, I hope you have your calendars marked for the next, 6 years?
6 years.
Because you're going to be sitting in movie theaters watching more and more Marvel stuff and probably getting sucked in just as much as the rest of us already have.
Yep.
And DC, you've been put on notice. Like, Marvel is throwing at you. In between, so Avengers Infinity War comes out, the two parts come out a year apart.
Yeah.
Whereas the two parts of the Justice League movie come out 2 years apart.
Yeah. So that'll be tougher for DC to pull.
Yes.
Well, it'll actually be tougher for Marvel to pull off, but the benefits will be huge to have only 1 year downtime. And
one more credit to DC here is that they're actually getting their first solo female lead movie, Wonder Woman, out before Captain Marvel, but technically she'll appear on screen before Wonder Woman, so Marvel's still kind of winning in that case, because if she comes out on...
They'll introduce Captain Marvel before.
Yeah, so they're still putting the screws to you, DC. Can't win everything. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you made it this far into the video.
Yeah, that was a marathon.
That was a marathon. That was a lot of fun for us, though. If you want to hear more about Marvel, as Kevin said, we'll definitely be doing more videos about that, because this is fun stuff for us. Otherwise, you could like and comment on this video. Thank you for doing that. You can hit the subscribe button. There's videos next to Kevin. Before I forget, there's t-shirts available. Kevin and I are wearing t-shirts. You can buy them. Help support the show. Those are over at outofspacetv.spreadshirt.com. These are also mugs. Anything else you got to say, Kevin? Nothing?
I think that's it.
That's it? All right. Thanks for watching.
See ya.
We'll see you out there.